Today we're going to be talking about real, authentic Italian food.
Yeah, that's different from what you think. Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Rick.
Hey, I'm Andrea. How are you today?
And today we're talking about what is real Italian food.
Yes. So, Italian food is very simple. You have to keep in mind there are two main rules in Italian food: seasonality and regionality. Can you explain?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about seasonality.
Seasonality, exactly. So there are some dishes that are only made in the winter and some dishes that are only made in the summer.
Right, because for example, some ingredients grow in the summertime and they taste better when they're fresh.
Exactly, when they're in season.
Exactly.
While other ingredients, they only are available in the winter, so they taste better in the winter.
That's right. And regionality, for example, you might be wondering about this shirt.
Yeah.
I love gnocco fritto. By the way, for everybody who knows, this is my favorite food in Italy. This is my favorite.
I think people know about it. There's so many videos on gnocco fritto on our YouTube channel. But I'll put one up.
And it's all down here.
Anyway, we digress.
So regional food means food that's made best in small areas of Italy.
Exactly. So every area has its own typical food, and if you try to find this food somewhere else, chances are you will not be very happy with it. Or maybe you will be very happy because you never had the authentic one, but it's not going to be very authentic.
Like pizza, for instance.
Pizza.
Everybody knows that pizza is Italian. But let me tell you, you have not had pizza until you've been to Naples.
Exactly.
That's it.
Pizza is so complicated, it's going to deserve a video on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, you could speak for hours about Naples-style pizza. But seriously, it's regional food. So when you come to Italy, one of the things that we recommend is to do a little bit of research as to where you're going and what the local or what the regional foods are in season and eat there. Let's give some examples. Let's start with like Rome.
Exactly. If you go to Rome, actually Rome is even more complicated because inside Rome there's an entire section that is the Jewish community. There's a completely different set of food.
That's so true.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
So every part of Italy is so authentic and so different. So if you go to Rome, for example, there are three main pasta dishes that are famous in Rome: carbonara, matriciana, and cacio e pepe. And you can find this pretty much everywhere in Rome.
Carbonara is my absolute favorite, by the way. In Rome.
In Rome. And if you can find carbonara outside Rome, but it's not as authentic. And
unless it's one of us making it.
Unless
we're making it. Then it's. But we were taught by a Roman.
Exactly.
So,
a Roman told us how to do it authentically.
And it works.
It works.
It works.
And there's a video about it.
That's right.
Or if you go, for example, to Sicily and you order pasta bolognese, you probably won't have the most authentic.
No. No, they're gonna dump tomatoes all over it.
Yeah, because Bologna is in the north, and the typical way of making bolognese is very localized. So do some research.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So number 2, the antipasto, primi, and secondi rule.
Yeah. So every Italian meal is usually composed of a 3-course meal.
Right.
Or 4-course meal.
Right.
There's always an antipasto, which is a small bite that you usually have before your main course.
Yeah.
And sometimes by small bite, I mean giant bite.
Yeah, well, look, when people come to eat, this is the primary social meal and social event of the day. So they don't eat like this 3 times a day or even 7 times a week. This is an event.
But when you go to a restaurant, this is usually the order of the
right, and they want to make it an event of the day.
Exactly.
They want to make it longer. They don't want to go to the restaurant and make it quick and go. No, that doesn't work.
No, you go to the restaurant to socialize, to talk, and you can sit at a table for like hours sometimes.
That's right.
So you have the antipasto, and then you have your pasta course, which is called the primi. And then you have your meat course, which is called the secondi.
That's right.
And sometimes with the meat course, you have the contorni, which is the side dish.
Right. So that would be more like a
vegetable
a la carte, or sometimes you go to a steakhouse and you have to order the potatoes on the side or something like that. But this is sort of the same thing. You can order the options
The
on
side
the side.
dish on the side.
Sometimes.
And then you have dessert.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how an Italian traditional meal is composed. Now, you don't have to have them all. It's not mandatory, but that's the usual suggestion.
Right. Now, guys, stay tuned. A little bit later in the video, I'm going to give you the #1 tip that you can do when you're at a restaurant in Italy and you're just to have the most amazing experience ever. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
And you don't even know what it is.
I don't.
No?
No, I wasn't aware of the...
There is a number, I'm telling you.
You're going to hijack the video. And another important thing, guys, most of the time we are talking about a family-style meal.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to bring you maybe 2-3 different kind of pasta and they're in the middle of the table and everybody's going to serve themselves.
That's right.
So that's pretty cool.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Simplicity.
Simplicity, yes.
So if you guys ever watch, food networks in North America, they cook Italian food, they're always like adding like tons and tons and tons of ingredients, everything in the war chest. It's just simply not the way it's done in Italy.
No. In Italy, usually there's one star ingredient.
Yes.
And a couple of supporting character.
Yeah. Well, take carbonara for instance.
Exactly, carbonara.
Carbonara is bacon and eggs.
With pasta.
With pasta. That's it.
Yeah. Super simple.
Yeah. Little oil, little olive oil, little salt, little bacon, little egg, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
And cheese.
Or cacio e pepe.
Cacio e pepe, even less.
Yeah.
There's just 2 ingredients.
Cheese.
Pepper and cheese.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually there's very simple ingredients, and as I said, there's one that's the star, and you have to taste the star.
Pizza is another one. Pizza's another one. You don't have like 29 ingredients.
No.
Here, you're gonna have something like tomato sauce and cheese and maybe one other thing.
Yeah, 2 toppings.
Yeah,
that's it.
Sure.
That's it.
Prosciutto and
fungi.
fungi. Right.
Ham
Exactly.
and mushrooms.
Ham and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's very important. Now let's talk about something very funny. What is not Italian food?
Yes.
Or what is food that you will not find in Italy?
That could be like a whole video on its
I
own,
know.
but let's do that today anyway because I'm having so much fun. So, when we talked earlier about the antipasto, the primi and secondi, you do not put it all on the same plate at one time. Never, no.
Especially one thing that you will never, ever do in Italy is put pasta and salad on the same plate. That is considered like a sin.
Oh, why on earth would you want the warm pasta to mix with the cold salad?
And especially the salad dressing mixed with this pasta sauce. That's something Italian would never even think about.
You remember like the buffets when we would see
Ooh.
on the cruise ships?
No, Italian would not do that.
And they had these people would walk around with these plates about this big and they would pile them this high with
Pasta with a piece of cake on top?
No.
No, Italian would not do that.
Slow, steady, local, regional. Focus on the best, not
Yes.
focus on what you like whenever. It's focus on what's in season and what's best.
Exactly, simplicity.
That's right.
So don't put everything in the same plate. Number 2, dishes that you will not find in Italy because they're not Italian.
So spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs. If you see a restaurant that serves spaghetti and meatballs, stay away.
Just keep walking.
Stay
just
away.
keep
That
walking.
is not a traditional Italian restaurant. It's a restaurant catered to tourists, and you most likely have some frozen food from there. Yeah, stay away.
Yeah. Fettuccine Alfredo.
Again, invented in the States, and it's not Italian.
No.
You will not find it here.
Mm-mm.
Veal Parmesan, which I don't even know what it is.
Veal with lots of cheese on it.
Yeah.
And probably a bunch of other stuff.
And tomato sauce. No.
That would never happen here.
No.
Never. No, doesn't exist.
Italian dressing. How do you dress Italian salad in Italy?
I think Italian dressing in North America is a mix of olive oil, oregano.
Bunch of herbs.
Yeah.
No, here
No.
salad dressing is very simple.
No.
Salt,
Mhm.
olive oil, and vinegar.
Mhm.
Balsamic if you are in the north.
Yep.
Regular vinegar if you're in the south.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep.
So don't look for Italian dressing. You have the 3 little jar of olive oil, vinegar, and salt on the table, and that's your dressing.
Exactly. This one gets me every single time. Chicken piccata.
Chicken piccata.
What the heck is chicken piccata?
I don't know.
It doesn't
I lived in Italy my entire life, and I've never seen it in any menu.
Well, we've traveled all over Italy. Never seen it.
Never seen it.
Never
heard of it.
No, only in the United States.
Yes.
And maybe in Canada too,
Maybe.
but I've never really paid attention.
North America.
Yeah. Doesn't exist.
No, does
It
not
just-
exist.
Yeah, I have no idea. But it sounds good.
Sounds Italian. Another thing you would not expect on your table is garlic bread.
No. In fact, most of the time, bread that's on the table, very rarely do you get a bread that stands on its own in Italy. Like, in North America, you have like a bun or something, or maybe you get a bread basket and you can smother it in butter or whatever. It doesn't really happen here, actually.
You have bread on the table, but usually it's meant for
doing the scarpetta.
soaking the pasta sauce after you finish your pasta.
Yeah.
And another thing Italians do not do is ask for vinegar and olive oil and dip the bread.
That's true. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
No.
They will put the balsamic vinegar on cheese, on some Parmesan, for instance, because the balsamic vinegar is an incredible product. Almost as incredible as the Parmesan.
Almost, yeah.
Only because the vinegar is, 12 to 25 years old or older, and cheese is just, 2 to 3 years old. It's like
But no, Italians don't do that. I mean, you can do it if you like it, but it's not something that Italians do.
No, you never really see it.
No.
Except in a tourist restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Tourist restaurant.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, let's talk about the number one thing to do in a restaurant. Ask the waitress
Exactly.
what the best meals are on the menu. And order one of every one of them.
Especially if, actually even better, ask the owner, because most of the time the owner of the restaurant is going to be in the restaurant.
That is a really good idea.
Most of the time it's at the cash
That's
register.
right.
And so
Guarding the money.
exactly, guarding the money. So make friend with the owner and tell them you're from abroad and you want to know what's special in this area and what's special in the restaurant, and you will be sure that you're going to have an amazing meal.
Yeah. And order one of everything. All of the best dishes.
Yes, and you will enjoy it.
Okay, let's digress. Let's continue.
Let's continue. Okay.
Number 5, coffee.
Coffee. Coffee in Italy, it's simple. If you ask for coffee, you have an espresso.
That's right.
Very simple. If you ask for a cappuccino, you have an espresso with milk.
Before lunch.
Yes, Italians do not drink cappuccino after 11 a.m. ever.
No.
Cappuccino is a breakfast item.
That's right. You might be wondering, why on earth is it like that? Well, one of the things that I realized that nobody told me about when I moved here, nobody told me how crazy Italians are about digestion. To the point when, if you go out with your friends to dinner, the next morning they all send a message on iMessage and WhatsApp and whatever, and they all ask, "Digerito bene? Did you digest well?"
That's true.
They're crazy about digestion, and drinking cappuccino, milk, heavy milky coffee after lunch, after a heavy meal, means that your stomach is probably going to bloat.
Yeah, it's not the 17 courses of the meal. That's a cappuccino. That's not right. Bloat your stomach.
Well,
but you can have the next best thing. It's caffè macchiato, which is an espresso with a shot, a tiny shot of foam milk.
You mean a tiny what?
Shot.
A tiny shot of foam milk.
Foam.
Great.
Just a tiny.
Yes. Yep.
So it's still an espresso size, but a little shot of foam milk.
Yeah. Now you might be wondering what it is that I'm drinking here. So this is an espresso.
It's a lungo.
This is a molto lungo. It's probably a doppio lungo, like a double long. You would never see this in Italy, for instance.
No.
But this is what I like, and you can't really get drip coffee here, so this is the next best thing.
And another funny thing, if you order a latte in Italy, you're gonna have a glass of milk.
That's right.
Because latte in Italian means milk.
That's right.
So if you want the same drink that you're used to drink in North America, you have to ask for a latte macchiato, which is milk with a shot of espresso.
That's right. Or a shot of espresso with some milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly milk.
Oh, right. Oh, just like a little color.
It's a glass of milk with
Interesting.
a latte macchiato. That's what it is.
Interesting.
So
I didn't even know that. Who knew?
Because it's not very common.
No.
It's something that usually kids drink for breakfast.
I see. Got it. For dunking.
For dunking, correct.
Got it.
Cool. So,
what should you expect when you're in Italy?
What's to expect when you're in Italy? As we said, seasonality and regionality. Those are the two main things. And if you see a restaurant with like photos of food outside and photos maybe with like 17 different things, like from pizza to burger to pasta, I would stay away from that one. Or if they say menu turistico.
Oh, no. You know what I found? Some of the most memorable restaurants we've ever stopped at, they had staff that didn't speak a word of English, but were happy to help and do their absolute best to make you feel welcome and to make you try their foods, because these are the people that are proud, and they're the ones that stand the test of time. They're the ones that have been there for 40 years or 50 years. They have the grandma in the kitchen cooking the food.
Absolutely.
These are the restaurants you want to go to.
And most of the time, those restaurants don't even have a menu. The waiter come to you with a little pen and paper, and they're gonna tell you what's available that day.
That's right. And don't worry about the price.
No, don't worry about it.
Don't worry
Usually
about the
it's a set price.
Yeah.
So usually it's about 20 to 30 euro, including drinks.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
So that's about it. Well, guys, what's a surprise?
I gave my surprise already.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah. Well, if you guys missed it, what do you think the surprise was? Leave the comment below.
We are looking forward to hear from you.
All right, guys.
Well, guys, we are going to talk about pizza another time, because pizza is a total different topic, and we can talk about pizza forever.
That's right. Well, one of the things that we should probably do when this whole lockdown business is over is go and taste all of the different types of pizzas all over Italy.
Yeah, we should.
Because they're all different. They're all different.
You'll see. Fantastic, guys. If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button and you will never miss one. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye.